So I was talking to a friend the other day and she asked me this. You don't ever take a break from work? Like, damn, fam, you're always working. Basically, we got to the conversation of taking a break from work. Essentially, when do I take breaks and when do I spend some time to actually relax? I enjoy my work. I don't know what to tell you. Working towards a goal for some people, that might be work, but we've heard this a million times. If you enjoy what you're doing, is it really work? If you ask me and a million others, whether entrepreneur or not, many are going to tell you no. Well, of course, there are things that I don't like, but something I know about her, she enjoys to read. So when I make the comparison, I look at it from an angle of, you enjoy reading, right? Okay, me personally, when I was growing up, I did read a lot. I read a lot of fiction, but nowadays I listen to audiobooks, and reading for me isn't something that I enjoy as much as she does, not nearly as much. So I make the comparison. She'll read a book for hours on end. I asked her one time, what's the longest you've spent reading? She said, was it way more than almost a whole day? I think she said she forgot to eat. I think she said almost a whole day without eating. So if you're making the comparison to something else that somebody enjoys doing, you go hours and hours on end. Does it feel like work? No, you get lost into it. You enjoy it. You enjoy what you're doing, so you can spend a lot more time than the average person doing the same thing that you're doing. It would be hell for them. But for you, you enjoy doing it, so it takes little to no effort. She finished a book in a day. So that's what I'm talking about. And you can make it the same analogy that we're using for books, the same thing you can use for video games. Like I did a video about one of my friends who spent 22 hours on a game. Same thing. If you enjoy what you're doing, it doesn't feel like a task. I was actually telling him you should stream because that stuff is passive to you. Perhaps, maybe it's a habit that I have learned to enjoy. I mean, you could make that argument, but on the other hand, maybe you might be projecting your own feelings. I mean, even if it's something that's more simple in nature and deemed by society as pastime. Because like I was saying in the previous video, as much as I love video games and anime, I grew up with it. I wouldn't say I've grown out of those stuff either. Some might say you did, but I find more enjoyment doing other things that, as for now, take up a majority of my time. I can sit down and watch a show outside of eating a meal, and if I'm there too long, I wish I could explain it. Maybe anxiety is the word, but something builds up into me where I get anxious, but it's almost as if something builds up inside of me saying, what are you doing, man? We got an empire to build over here. What are you doing? We got to get back to it. What am I doing right now? I need to study some Korean, I need to study some Spanish. I need to get back to my business, something. I got to do something that's productive. And that's really what it falls back to sometimes. Because the key to happiness isn't something you find and you have it forever and you're gone. And you don't have to worry about it again. Like, to consistent happiness, at least from what I think, from the years I've experienced so far, is finding yourself. Not only what you enjoy doing, but finding contentment in whatever that is as well.